Let's see what they're saying about us today.
There were a lot of funny moments in The Bad Guys. Still, there are plenty of interesting details that were easy to miss on your first watch. Let's get into it. Number 1. Did you catch the nods to Pulp Fiction? Sure, we may not expect to see a lot of Tarantino references in movies that are family-friendly, but in many ways The Bad Guys is really a one-of-a-kind movie, and a Pulp Fiction nod fits right in. So much so that you may have missed it. In the beginning of the movie, Snake and Wolf are eating in a diner before, well, committing a crime.
Don't mind us, just robbing this place.
Remind you of anybody? Yep, it's just like that scene in Pulp Fiction. In fact, seeing these moments side by side makes it very clear that this was no accident. Number 2. Do you remember Shark Tale?
I'm so cold.
That's just because we're cold-blooded.
This was another anthropomorphic animal DreamWorks classic, and in The Bad Guys, Shark references something that happened in Shark Tale.
My cousin got hit on the head with an anchor, and after that, he only swam in a circle.
This is just what happened to Frankie, another shark in Shark Tale. Are Frankie and Shark cousins? Is this implying an overarching DreamWorks universe? It surely seems more likely than not. Number 3. Reservoir Dogs is another Tarantino flick that got some serious nods. In this case, the reference is all in the names. In The Bad Guys, there's Mr. Wolf, Mr. Snake, Mr. Piranha, Mr. Shark, and Miss Tarantula. The Bad Guys' names mirror that of Reservoir Dogs. Mr. White, Mr. Orange, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue, and Mr. Brown. Coincidence? We think not. Number 4. The Bad Guys has plenty in common with Ocean's 11. To start, they discuss the idea of making their heist personal, just like in Ocean's 11. Of course, they're also planning a heist and talking through their whole plan beforehand, which is a pretty classic Ocean's franchise element.
You're gonna have a problem with stealing, you're not gonna like the rest of this conversation.
Number 5. Wonder where Webbs got her nickname?
Did it work?
Just give me 5 minutes.
Webbs' nickname was actually Legs in the comics, probably because, well, spiders have a lot of legs. But she got an even more apt nickname in the movie.
You totally lost me.
Webbs is the perfect name for her because she's a spider and a computer hacker. Get it? Webbs? Number 6. That's an extremely familiar dance scene. It reminds us of the extremely goofy movie. Mr. Wolf and Fox's dance scene looked a lot like Goofy and Celia's famous dance to Shake Your Groove thing in the extremely goofy movie. We'd love to see these 4 in a dance-off.
I was hoping you were going to ask me to dance.
Number 7. We've all heard of a wolf in sheep's clothing, and Mr. Wolf really embodies it. Not only is he a wolf in sheep's clothing as the saying goes, because he's trying to disguise himself as nice and cuddly, but he's actually a wolf. But he is also literally a wolf wearing a sheep costume, playing on the expression. Number 8. Did you notice the unusual $100 bills? You'd have to know a little bit about the ins and outs of DreamWorks to know what makes this money special. The face on the bill is actually the president of DreamWorks, Margie Cohn. Number 9. There are many nods to the city of Los Angeles. From car chases to smog-filled air to the unique architecture, The Bad Guys makes it hard for us to forget that it's taking place in LA. Number 10. The movie's unique animation style was inspired by Cowboy Bebop. Fans of the anime know that Cowboy Bebop has a very specific style, and in many ways The Bad Guys has an animation style all its own as well. The Cowboy Bebop inspo is especially clear when you look at Mr. Wolf's character design. Number 11. Hunter S. Thompson has a snake counterpart in this movie. Mr. Snake's bucket hat and Hawaiian shirt are modeled after famous journalist Hunter S. Thompson's trademark outfit. Thompson is famous for creating his own movement in journalism that certainly seems like something Snake would be a fan of. Number 12. Mr. Wolf shares a lot in common with the titular character in the fantastic Mr. Fox. Sure, they're both charming, confident, anthropomorphized animals, so they're pretty alike right off the bat. But there are also plenty of comparisons to draw between Mr. Fox and Mr. Wolf's appearances. Plus, there's a lot of George Clooney-ness about Mr. Wolf, and of course, Clooney actually voices Mr. Fox. In fact, Shark even says at one point that Wolf is gonna go the full Clooney.
Oh yeah, the full Clooney.
AKA laying on the charm, so it seems that the movie itself is aware of the similarities. Number 13. Did The Bad Guys remind you of Zootopia? There are lots of comparisons between The Bad Guys and Zootopia. Wolf is very similar to Nick, and the bad guys themselves remind us a lot of the Zootopia characters. Number 14. Yep, that's a little Red Riding Hood reference. It's hard to have a talking wolf movie without one, really. Mr. Wolf dresses as a grandmother, referencing another big bad wolf, the one in Little Red Riding Hood. Number 15. Have you ever read Save the Cat? Mr. Wolf saves a cat, which is a reference to a popular screenwriting trope from the book aptly named Save the Cat. The book suggests that when writing a screenplay, you should have your protagonist do something good early on in the movie to establish that they are, in fact, a good guy. The example that's used is saving a cat because, only good guys do that.
I want you to set this up so obvious. I want you to save it.
The irony, of course, isn't lost on us that they use this trope on the protagonist of a movie called The Bad Guys. Did you notice all these details in The Bad Guys? What else caught your eye or sparked interest that we didn't mention? We want to hear all about it in the comments, and if you love this video, be sure to like and subscribe to The Things Animated for more deep dives on your favorite animated flicks.